Cheeks. My lips look purple. I'm not really cold. Hi guys, welcome to Meadow Sweet Farm. I hope everybody's doing well. This is my YouTube channel about all things crafty. I have to stop looking at the camera and I guess I'm supposed to look up here. Some lady said that I eerily looked up and what did they say? Eerily looked up and away from the camera. So I guess I have to look at the numbers or something and try not to look at myself, which is hard to do when you're just kind of drawn to that. So I'll try. Anyway, welcome to Meadow Sweet Farm, Fiber Arts Design Studio. My name's Bonnie, and today is January the 25th, I think. It's either the 25th or the 26th. It's Sunday afternoon. I actually have a finished object. I really have a finished object. It's a big one. So this is my Gudrun Johnson. Oh, I might have to take a picture of me in full. I only have it in half. Oh boy, this is really, it's huge. This is the biggest half triangle I started this, I think, right before Thanksgiving. Maybe it must have been like maybe early November, because I met my daughter for lunch and I was working on the colors. And I get all of my Jameson and Smith yarn from the Woolly Thistle. So she just sends a kit. So you can see this is ginormous if it's completely opened up. But I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. So when we're done, before I post this, I will take a picture of me wearing it. But you can kind of see me with it on now, with these gorgeous colors. I love it. So, my finished object. I was so excited, I just jumped right in. So anyway, I hope everybody, Happy New Year. I hope everybody is staying nice and warm. This is a podcast about all things crafty, cooking, home life, farm life, all kinds of stuff. You never know what I get into. But I usually do quite a bit of knitting. I do weaving, I do spinning, quilting. I love history. I was a curator at a museum for many, many years, over 20 years. So I love to do research. I'm a professor at a small university in West Virginia. Okay, so I hope everybody's doing well. Just right off the bat, just a little bit of admin stuff. Please hit the subscribe button. I do have a lot of new subscribers. My numbers are going up pretty quickly. And I'm going to sit back a little bit. Hit the like. I would love for you to comment. Comment about anything that we talk about here. I have a great community. I have made so many incredible friends, and I really and truly would love to hear from you. I really, really would. I want to know what you're making. I want to know what you want to see from my channel. I'm watching, which is one of my favorite. I love so many of them. The 1824 Walker Farmhouse with Audrey and Dave. And Audrey posted something today on her channel, and she said that what she was going to do, what someone recommended, is being consistent. So I have been pretty consistent with coming on around every 2 weeks. This week it's been a little crazy, so I think I'm pushing closer to 3 weeks since my last podcast, since my last confession. I have an idea that I think I'm going to share with you right now since we're here. But before I do that, I am drinking, this is red rose tea. I ordered this online, and this is called, it's Sweet Temptations, but this is sugar cookie. And this is like my dessert every night. I love, 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 love this tea. And I've got it in my sweet little bumblebee with the flowers and the little bee that you can put your thumb right there. So, but I'm going to take a sip. It's the perfect temperature actually right now. Okay, so let's get started. So here's what I'm going to be consistent about. I love to cook, but I like to do different kind of recipes. And somebody was talking on like just a random YouTube channel about this book, The Experienced English Housekeeper, Elizabeth Raffold. Let's look at Elizabeth. She doesn't look very happy, does she? Her dress is pretty. I love her bonnet. Okay, anyway, this is mid-1700s. Elizabeth Raffold was a housekeeper for several families, including the Warburtons of Arley Hall. It was there at Arley Hall that she met her husband, John, who was at the time, the head gardener. They eventually moved to Manchester, where she opened a culinary school and catering business, as well as the first domestic service agency in the city. She frequently contributed articles to local newspapers, produced multiple citywide trade directories, and authored a book on midwifery, as well as her most famous work, which is this. Okay, so like the recipes in here, just to read them, are pretty wild. I just thought it would be fun. I can't promise a weekly, but I am going to just kind of maybe insert into my podcast when I have them a recipe that I did, and I'll let you know how it turns out. So like, listen to this. How am I gonna do these? Okay, mock turtle a second way. Dress the hair of a calf's head as before. Ooh. Boil it half an hour. When boiled, cut it into pieces half an inch thick and 1.5 inches long. Put it into a stew pan with 2 quarts of veal gravy, salt to your taste. The S's look like F's. Let it stew. It looks like flew 1 hour. Then put in a pint of Madeira wine, half a teaspoonful of cayenne, CHYAN, pepper, truffles, and truffles, I think, aren't they mushrooms, some kind of mushroom, morels, 1 ounce each, 3 or 4 artichoke bottoms, boiled and cut into quarters. When the meat begins to look clear and gravy strong, put in half a lemon and thicken it with flour and butter. Fry a few force meat balls. Beat 4 yolks of hard-boiled eggs in a mortar, very fine, with a lump of butter. Make them into balls the size of pigeon eggs. Oh, good Lord. Put the forced meatballs and eggs in after you have dished it up. NB, a lump of butter put in the water makes artichoke bottoms boil white and sooner. Wow, and then it tells you how to make a calf's head. Well, I don't think I'm going to be making that recipe. But the reason I got this was because the guy that was talking about this book said there's a recipe for what looks like mac and cheese. So he was touting that she was the originator of the very first mac and cheese. So we'll see. But we're going to have fun with this cookbook. So if you have it, let me know. We maybe can do a cook along. Okay, so book number 1. My new love, my new crush, Mandy Shaw. I've watched her for years. I know I have all of her books, and I know I've talked about her in the past. She makes the cutest Christmas ornaments, quilts. She has an advent calendar, cushions. Everything she makes is adorable. So she has I'll show it to you. It's a pin cushion, but I don't know if you can see it. It's in the shape of a watch. It looks like a watch on her wrist. So anyway, I'm going to be making some of Mandy Shaw's things. I really, really want to make this pillow. Oops, sorry. I love that pillow. So I definitely want to make that. Okay, now, okay, I'm jumping around, I'm sorry. Getting back to the half Hansel wrap. This was the very first wrap that I did, and this was the smallest version. And again, these colors are all from the Woolly Thistle. I love this. I love wearing these. So this one's really nice to kind of do this. But it just looks great. I love it. Okay. So I have 2 of these, but I am working on the full Hansel wrap. I'll show you the colors. So it looks like a triangle, but what you're doing, it's a blanket, basically. It's a square, and then you fold it in half, and it is probably this size, maybe a little bigger. But it looks like a triangle, but you're actually making a square because you get to so many stitches and then you start to do the decreasing. So I what happened there? I must have pulled a stitch. So I almost am to half. I don't know how many stitches. I don't want to give it away because it's a paid for pattern. I love her patterns, and they come with videos. There's a couple things that I had to watch, but the videos are very, very, she really does hold your hand and take you through the patterns really easy. So, yeah, sorry. I'm really enjoying making this. And here again, I'm really bad with colors and stuff, just picking them out. I'm not really sure of myself. So this is for the full hat, and if you can see all the colors, the brown is the main color. Sorry for the crinkles. And then it's got gray and some different colors, almost like a peach here, and then some brown, and then this gorgeous, you can't see it, the gorgeous green. Oh, that's better. So Gabe's up in the loft, but I love the colors. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but you'll see them when I finish it, right? Okay. So I've got that. I've got my finished object, which I'm really proud of this. A finished object. This has been done for a couple years, and it is a little toothy, but I'm okay with it. I just love woolly wool, so I don't mind the toothiness. Now, I have on, I bought this years ago in Pittsburgh in the Market District, and I loved it when I saw it, and it's just an infinity scarf. So I went on a hunt to see if I could find this same kind of furry stuff that I could use to make some more. And I was going to make a whole bunch for Christmas, and I was going to make a whole bunch of them to sell when I do my shows. So I found this fabric. Now this one I made way too long, so I've cut them, and excuse me, this is the size, and I like the gray. This is really super soft, and I didn't buy a whole lot of this. I don't think they had a whole lot left when I was buying it, but I like the width of the scarf, and I like the softness. And this I'm cutting down to the same size as this, but this is really pretty on too. So, and these are super easy to make, super, super easy. This would be a great project for a beginner. So I'm gonna try to make some more of these with some different fabric that I have in my basement. So I will maybe do a little video sharing that process. And I think what I might do we have a pencil here? Yes, excuse me. Okay, so promise to do an infinity shawl or infinity scarf. And the cooking, 1700s. Okay, now what I really wanted, the whole reason I came on here was to show you just a couple more things. My find. So I am doing so great at cleaning out my basement, which has been driving me crazy for years. Because I inherited a ton of fabric and a ton of clothes that I thought I can definitely do something with this. And it's, I think what they did in California was they actually are saying that, I mean, I don't know what their policy is, but it was something to the effect that you can't just throw clothes into a landfill, that you have to go through a process or something. You have to give it to Goodwill or something. So I just felt with all of the fabric that I had, I mean, it's like 3 generations of fabric from 2 incredible women that were seamstresses, and then clothing that is just gorgeous cotton and wool fabric that, you know, they're definitely out of style, but there's got to be something that I can do to salvage these things, whether it's use the fabric from the clothes or maybe cut it in a way that it can be used in a different way. So, but I just had everything just hodgepodge. Like my basement was chock filled with this stuff, and it was just driving me crazy. If I had workmen that had to go down there, I was just like mortified, like, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm like this crazy hoarder. So I am going through all the clothes right now. I did sort through some of the boxes, like the blue jeans and any kind of blue jean material. But the clothing, I think there were like, I can't even say how many bags and boxes of clothing. So anything that's polyester, I'm giving to Goodwill. I've already taken 4 bags of clothes to Goodwill. Anything that's cotton or wool, I am saving, and I'm putting them in boxes and labeling them. Okay, so to do some infinity scarves with some of that fabric, I think will really, really be fun. So, but as I was going through, and a lot of this, some of it is actually things that I purchased through the years that I haven't looked at in forever. So mainly because I brought in all this other stuff and I couldn't get to anything that was mine. So it's coming along nicely. I'm taking my time and just absolutely enjoying looking at the fabric, deciding what pieces I want to keep. It's just really been fun. So I had this box, and I know that this is a collection of mine, and I can't remember where a lot of it came from, but they're orphan quilt blocks. And so I am watching a YouTube channel. I have to find her because I want to give her credit. She's something small things. Let me look. Because I love watching her. Let's see. From Small Things. And sorry for the lighting. I think it's almost 6 o'clock here. But she lives up in she lives in, I think, in Lancaster. So it would be east. She's in Pennsylvania anyway. So she is just a prolific quilter. And it was episode 7 that she talked about her orphan block quilt. And she showed how you put it together. Because I was thinking, what am I going to do with these? Look at these gorgeous quilt squares. I'm only going to show you a couple. But the 9 patch. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry guys, luckily I caught that. My phone just turned off. Isn't that odd? Okay, so let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm sure there's another one in there. But let me just show you how many orphan blocks I have. I'm kind of crooked here. Let's see. Maybe put me more in the middle. I want you to see this too. I'll take a drink of my tea while I'm waiting. This is all over the map. I'm sorry. This are all my orphan blocks. So I've got to make some quilts. And there's another lady I was watching. She's a well-known quilter. Her name's Pepper Corey, and she's big with scrap quilting. And she was talking about big stitch quilting, and she was doing a really pretty, it was a flower design, and all around the flower motif she just quilted great big stitches, which I thought was really, really fun. Now this is mine. I did this a long time ago. I might make a little pillow with this. I don't know. A little doggy. So, it's cute. My zigzag stitching doesn't look all that great. Anyway, so I am going to start. gorgeous embroidery, tons of red work, patches, squares. It's amazing. So I'm also going to be working on this. And I love my crank Singer sewing machine. So I'm going to be finishing up. I started a bag using naturally dyed fabrics, and I want to finish that up. And then I also want to finish my Tilda bag. So I have them actually sitting out on my kitchen table, but between Christmas and New Year's, and then I started back to school, and then we had a lot of snow here, and my first week of going back to classes was last week. I was supposed to go back, but the temperatures were -9, and I was afraid to drive all that distance with -9 degrees, and the weather, I mean, everything was frozen. So I stayed here, and then I'll go back this week to campus and start my second week of classes. So it's just been a little busy, and I haven't had a chance to get to this, but I am going to get started on this. I have a couple weaving projects and spinning, so I think it's going to be a good year. I'm taking notes, and I'm going to take the advice from Audrey from 1824 Walker Family Farm and try to be, I have been consistent, but maybe do some kind of just a short weekly video and see how those things go. And I also want to take you back to the gentleman that worked on my crank sewing machine. I've been trying to get in touch with him, David Selby, to see if maybe we can do a tour of his collection of the featherweights that he has. So all these things are in the works, and I hope you stay with me so that we can enjoy some of these things together and travel down a fun, crafty journey. I am going to be getting started thinking about my garden, even though it's been so cold. No one has plowed their driveway. You saw my driveway when we first had the snow in the beginning of the video, and it was gorgeous, and it's just so quiet when it snows like that. You don't hear anything, maybe the birds, that might be it. It's just so peaceful. But the chickens are doing good. They've got lots of chicken feed, and they've got lots of warm water, and I'll have to call her back. This is the craziest video I think I've had. I think the craziest video I ever did was with Gabe. He was sitting here and he kept jumping up and down, and he was like awful, and barking. He was so bad. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for sticking with me and joining me, and I hope we can have some really good conversations. Tell me if you've ever done any orphan quilting blocks. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me what recipes, if you have any family recipes you'd like to share. Any and all things would be great. So I hope this wasn't too disjointed. And I'm going to pick out a recipe. Maybe I'll do the macaroni and cheese one. That would be easy. I will find that, maybe that. I have everything, I think, for that one, unless it calls for a calf head, which I won't make. So anyway, thank you guys. Stay nice and warm if you're in my kind of climate, and I will see you hopefully in a week or two. So bye for now. Take care.